Aloha and welcome. This is Small Talks where the mic's on, the walls are down, and nothing is too small to talk about. Today, I really want to talk about healing, what it looks like, what it doesn't, and how messy it really is sometimes. I don't have all the answers at all, but I do have some moments, some lessons, and some honesty. So, if you're in the middle of it or just trying to understand better, this one is for you. Basically, first, I just want to talk about why I picked this topic. Healing is it's a journey, obviously, a journey that I am taking myself right now. For the first time in a very long time, I have been speaking to a therapist, and she has definitely helped me realize a lot of the toxic cycles that I've been stuck in and a lot of the bad habits that I never realized were bad habits. And I've also learned about having boundaries for myself and how it is okay to say no. I've always been such a yes guy. You ask me to do something, as much as I do or do not want to do it, I'm going to be there giving my 100%, whether I like it or not. But now I know that I'm only going to be there if I want to be there. Obviously, if someone is in need, of course, but no one else's needs will ever trump mine. Respectfully, obviously. There's certain cases where it will, but you know what I mean. Another thing that I do want to mention about healing is it is not a linear thing. The thing is with healing, it's crazy how there are days of chaos and days of beauty existing side by side. So one day you'll feel like you have all the energy and all the momentum and all the motivation to do it. And then the next day you'll wake up and be like, why did I even wake up? Why did all this happen to me? Why is this happening to me? Why is that? All these things. And it sucks, those days when you do wake up feeling down. But you always have to remember and go back to where you are in your healing journey. You can always accept the feelings and those waves of emotions, but the thing is, you do not want to take steps backward on those days. You gotta stand on 10 toes and just fight, fight like you always have been. You're not sitting here because you gave up. Obviously, if you gave up, you wouldn't be watching a video like this. But anyways, healing is something that it's a roller coaster, dude. So just lock in and have fun while you're at it. Find things on the bad days to get yourself out of that funk. Like for me, volleyball. Volleyball is one thing. If I'm feeling down, I will text my volleyball friends and be like, we need to rent a court ASAP. We need to get out there now. And I'll go and I'll forget. Like, I'll literally forget all that I was pissed off at when I'm playing volleyball with my friends. And then I'll leave and I'll be like, dang, those problems that were my problems before volleyball, I've realized they're not problems. I can go ahead and live my life and let those problems just settle. Find your passion, find something you can pour yourself into to not even distract yourself, but to heal, I use volleyball because volleyball, I can rip the ball. I can just hit it as hard as I can, letting out that aggression or whatever the feeling is. But yeah, find something for you. Find something that works for you. Next thing that I kind of want to get into is what I used to think healing looked like. And I used to, goodness. I used to think healing looked like distracting myself, basically. I never knew that that's what it was. But my therapist told me I never gave myself a chance to really think about my problems. The only time I was able to think about my problems was when I was about to go to bed, and those were the most horrible times. I'd stay up all night, like for hours, just anxious in bed. I'd have a movie on, but not even watching. Just, I don't even remember what I'd used to do, but it's not okay to distract yourself just so you don't have to heal, and I distracted myself with work, and it's not okay. It never worked out for me. I mean, essentially what I was doing was bottling up all of those emotions into a overfilled bottle, and it's not okay to do that to yourself. I really wish that I had the opportunity to sit down with my past self just to like apologize to them. A lot of my younger selves, if I can go back in time, like if me physically, if I can go back in time and have a conversation with my younger selves, I would just say, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I made you guys run for so damn long. It is time for you guys to rest. I am putting you guys to rest. You guys are now able to move on from those problems and heal. I'm now taking all those lessons one by one and just taking it day by day. The difference in my healing back then and my healing now is it's crazy because it's nuts to realize how self-destructive I was. I really really never understood until I finally like opened my eyes and I finally like actually almost hit rock bottom. It just really opens your eyes and it makes me appreciate so many more things, so much more. And that is what brings me motivation. I'm motivating myself and I'm being motivated by the things I'm doing, and it really feels nice to really pick and choose what is for me rather than letting things pick and choose that I'm not meant to be. I've always been that person to ask to sit at someone else's table or to be invited or whatever it is. And now, like, or even in relationships, I've always been the one to be like, do you still like me? Do you still like me? No longer. No longer. For me now, the energy that I'm putting out is if it's for me, I will know. I won't have to ask. If I'm meant to sit at your table, I will have an invitation. For myself, I'm creating my own table at this point. I'm gonna sit down at my own table, and now I get to choose who sits down. I get to choose, okay, go ahead and walk on by. Let me get to know you. Okay, sure, you can sit down. I am not gonna let anyone have that power over me anymore. And that for me is one of the biggest steps in healing. That I'm finally taking it over. Like I'm finally taking my life into the direction that I want it to go. And again, I have no freaking clue what is ahead of me. But I can tell you, I'm very excited, very, very excited to see all the beautiful things that I have ahead of myself. And I know it is not gonna be just straight up. There's always gonna be another mountain. Hey, there's always gonna make a move. Oh, no, 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 no. I don't wanna get copyright. But anyways, it's gonna be up and down, but it's all about the climb. I think something about healing is you need to know when and when not to be around people. Previously, I would literally just lock myself up and just isolate. Then when I was ready, then I'd go out into the world after a few months and hey, Gavin is alive. But no longer am I going to do that. I now know what the difference is when I just need my space to breathe and just to process, and when I know it's time to socialize. And it's not equal parts, but I think that's what's helped me most. Really just knowing my boundaries and not isolating too much and not keeping myself too busy, actually taking the time with myself to process. That time alone isn't for me to just lay in bed and be a little bed bug and just be all sad and yeah, like that's okay if that's what people do, but just like what Tyler Perry talked about in one of his Medea plays is Medea says, yes, it's okay to be sad, but the thing is, don't stay in that sadness for too long. Get up and do something for yourself. Something in the lines of that. And that message really speaks to me now. I've always listened to it and I saw it on Instagram and TikTok, but it never really spoke to me until I finally understood it. Like, it is okay to feel your feelings, but don't let that feeling take over anymore. Like, I can't do that to myself. I just really can't. I think another thing about healing is letting go without closure. I think the closure that we need, we will never really get. Unless it's something very mutual or you know it's going to happen, you're able to prepare, you have that closure. But there's a lot of times in my life that I was not fortunate enough to get that closure. Even when I thought I had the closure, I always realized I never did. And something so life changing that I've figured out for myself that works for me is realizing that the closure that I need is me letting go. Just learning my lesson and remembering all the beautiful times that I had and just letting it go. Because another movie reference that I want to talk about is it's Marvel. So Vision and Wanda were sitting in Wanda's room, and Wanda was really sad about her family and how she missed them and how she felt lonely. And Vision was like talking about grief. And Vision, he said something in the lines of, "What is grief if not love persevering?" And that was so beautiful. That was such a beautiful line. It's one of my favorite lines ever. If I could get a tattoo of that, I actually would. The line of, what is grief if not love persevering? That right there just makes all of the situations I never had closure for just come to an end, because I loved whatever the situation was. If I loved it that much to let it hurt me that bad, that's love persevering right there. Like, missing what I had, instead of letting that hurt me, now I can just remember, wow, I had a time where I had that, and that was beautiful. And I cannot wait for the next time that I feel that, whether if it's with someone else or whether if it's with myself. Like, it's very exciting, and it's also a more optimistic way to live your life. I think I was very pessimistic for a very long time, which I'm not very proud of. But again, we live and we learn. I'm definitely still on my healing journey. I'm not close to perfect or close to the end of it, but all I do know is I have to give myself credit. I'm very proud of how far that I've come. It's a really nice feeling to feel like that weight that I've been carrying for so long is not there anymore. And it's an uncomfortable feeling sometimes to break patterns and to feel so at ease, because for a long time, if I felt at ease, I'd be looking behind my back like, what's coming next? What's the next catch? But now it's like, instead of always worrying about what's coming next, enjoy the moment. I am able to finally just take the days as they go. And of course, I worry here and there about, okay, what is tomorrow going to look like? Oh, is work going to be busy? Oh my gosh, am I going to have this? Whatever it is. But now I feel so much more at ease because I don't worry about that. Whatever happens, and I'm just going to take it. I have control to choose how I react now. And am I going to react in a way where it's going to piss me off and hurt myself? No. Or is it just going to be, okay, take it as it is, analyze it, and make the next move? another thing that I'm grateful for is the fact that you have sat here while I talk about my healing journey and my stories or my opinions on healing. I really do appreciate it. I am pretty scatterbrained about this topic, so I do apologize if I went a little haywire here or there. I do get very passionate about stuff like this, so I really do appreciate if you still are listening. And I also just want to say that whatever stage of healing that you're in right now, I just want to say that I'm very proud of you. Keep it up. You're doing what you need to do. And to those of you, whatever stage of life you're at, if no one has told you yet, I want to tell you that I'm proud of you. And thank you for being here. You make the world a better place. And I really hope to see you next time. And again, mahalo nui loa from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for listening to episode number 2 of Small Talks. It's been a blessing. Hope to see you guys soon. Ahui ho. Till next time, take care. Bye. Woo! Can I get a chee-hoo?